What's going on YouTube? I'm E and this is Simply Put Scents. And I wanted to talk to you guys about a fragrance that came out in the year 2016 by the house Burberry. And the fragrance is Mr. Burberry. So, guys, when I smell this fragrance, the three words that I would use to describe it: fresh, sweet, hygienic. It's meant to be an easy to wear, uncomplicated, and contemporary addition to the Burberry catalog of fragrances. And I guess you could say the majority of Burberry's fragrances have leaned to the more mature side or serious side. So I feel like they've been trying with their few of their more recent releases to appeal to a younger audience. That's where I think Mr. Burberry comes into play. It starts off with a very unrealistic blast of grapefruit with a powdery, slightly soapy type of smell. But wait, there's more. There's like an herbaceousness in the opening also, so it's kind of green and herbal. That lasts literally minutes, and what you're left with is pretty much like a sweet spiced wood style type of fragrance in the dry down that leans very powdery. All of this stuff kind of adds up to equal a fragrance that comes off extremely hygienic. And what I mean by hygienic, guys, is pretty much a fragrance that you would expect in a body spray. Yeah, it's extremely safe and it's inadventurous, but that kind of mirrors the brand itself. I mean, Burberry isn't the type of brand you expect edgy and interesting from. Mr. Burberry lasts about 5 to 6 hours on skin with very, very minimal projection and sillage. This fragrance dries down really quickly and it doesn't really have heavy base notes to keep the scent like going with oomph. It's very weak, I would say, as far as the sillage and the projection goes. The longevity is about average, I would say. Mr. Burberry, I think, is a very good work fragrance. I think that's pretty much the best scenario for a fragrance like this. To me, it's very inoffensive, it smells clean, it's not too strong. It's a casual fragrance that you could wear just casually, or it could be a really good work fragrance. That's pretty much, I would say, the uses for this scent. The thing about it though is it's extremely versatile. So you could pretty much get away with wearing this fragrance all year. It's far from the most unique fragrance in the world. This is a scent that pretty much mirrors Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, Jimmy Choo Man Intense, Jimmy Choo Man. I don't really think that it's a very unique fragrance by any means at all. No, not unique, none whatsoever. The funny thing is, this fragrance kind of starts off different than the rest of those fragrances, but it ends up in a very been there, done that type of place, which is kind of unfortunate, pretty much. A full bottle of Mr. Burberry retails for $90 about, for 3.4 ounces. I don't know if that's the best value. I mean, at discounters, it's about $60. Still, I don't think that's the best value for this fragrance. Now, if you're a guy who likes work fragrances that you can pretty much wear all year round, this might be a decent value for you because it is a good scent for that type of scenario. I don't know if it's going to enhance your image, but I guess at the workplace, you don't really wear fragrances to enhance your image, so to speak. You just pretty much want to smell nice and not offend. The compliment factor is not crazy. This is not a fragrance where people are going to be like,
wow, what are you wearing? Oh my god, it smells so good.
I'd be very, very surprised if that happens. It's a fragrance that I think a lot of women appreciate because it's very easy to appreciate. A lot of women, I think, like fragrances, guys, that are not in your face. They don't like a lot of fragrances that come across too strong. So scents that have a light profile that allow them to kind of snuggle up to you a little more to smell you, those are fragrances that I feel like have the most impact in those type of scenarios with women. It's not a fragrance that's gonna make you memorable. It's not a fragrance that's gonna have anyone waking up thinking,
wow, he smelled amazing.
It's a fragrance that really doesn't demand a lot of thought when you're smelling it. So I think that also works in its favor for a lot of people because at the end of the day, there are some people who are intrigued by interesting scents, but there are a lot more people who just like scents that are very easy to appreciate. The negatives of Mr. Burberry, I think a lot of guys might not appreciate it because it just comes across very powdery. I'm purely speculating, but I wonder if they handcuffed the great nose or if he offered this to the brand and said, this is what I think would work perfectly for you. You could easily say that this is a bandwagon type of fragrance, a trend follower type of scent. It does have average longevity, about 6 hours, but when you consider the sillage and projection, after about an hour and a half, it's nothing to write home about at all. Another issue that you can easily point out is that in this fragrance, it has very little transition, especially after the first 10 to 15 minutes when the top is drying off. Though it does kind of go through certain transitions, the transitions are so minimal after the opening that it's really nothing to really discuss. It's not interesting in that type of way. It's very linear after the top. I definitely think that could be considered a negative when you break down the composition of the scent. It's obvious that Mr. Burberry is Burberry's mass marketing flagship scent. And they're like, ta-da! And yeah, it's pretty much what it comes down to. I think this is them saying, we want to have a Sephora's bestseller too. So guys, as you know, I like to rank fragrances in what I call the P.A.G.E rating system. And that is P for poor, A for average, G for good, and E for exceptional. So, where do you think Mr. Burberry by Burberry lands on the page? This fragrance to me is an A. And it's not just an A, it's below A. It's like an A minus. It's like definitely an A minus. An A minus basically means below average in my rating system. The word generic has so many different meanings, and I think a lot of those different meanings can fit this scent in a nutshell. That's one of the reasons why I consider it an A minus. The other thing is I don't think this is a poor fragrance because I do feel like what Burberry was trying to create was a work fragrance that matched their style for a younger audience. And I do feel like they've accomplished that goal. I don't feel like this fragrance would be disgusting to everyone. A lot of people will definitely turn their noses up at this. I think those type of noses would consider a scent like this a womp for sure. I do feel like it fits what it was meant for in totality. So I don't feel like it warrants a P. I don't feel like it's completely a failure of a fragrance because it does work as a very good office scent. It doesn't smell realistic at all. There's nothing realistic about this scent, in my opinion. I really didn't get much of a natural vibe from this fragrance from the top to the bottom. And at least I can say with, for instance, Sauvage, the bergamot in the top is beautiful. I really like it. It's very nice. What do you guys think about that bow tie on the bottle? Does that communicate class or, you know, gothic chick? I don't know. I really don't get the daggone bow. What's up with your bow, man? It's not the most masculine looking bottle, I would say. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please comment down below. Let me know what your favorite Burberry fragrance is. And if you like this video, guys, please hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And of course, if you have not subscribed to Simply Put Scents, please do so. I will definitely be grateful for your support and I'd be honored for it. So thank you. I really am grateful for you guys watching. I'm E. This is Simply Put Scents. And I'm Simply